In the previous lecture, we learned how to implement a bootstrap styling to our website. In this lecture, we are going to create our first signup route. So let's get started. So first, we have to organize our code a little bit. We have to separate routes and put it in a different folder. So let's do that. Go to your project folder. Under that folder, create a new folder and you want to name it routes. Right? And then under that folder, you want to create two files. One is main and the other one is user.js. One is main.js and you want to create another one and you want to give it a name user.js. Our main.js file will be handling all the main routes like home, product, cart, and search routes, while user.js will be handling all the routes that's related to a user, which are login, sign up, profile, and logout routes. So let's go ahead and clean some code. Go to server.js and copy paste the home route and paste it on main.js. Copy paste this. We're gonna copy this too actually. And we're gonna cut it. And we're gonna go back to main.js. I'm gonna paste it here. Alright. But this time we're not going to use app. Alright, we're not going to use app. Instead, we're going to use router. You can either use router or app, but in this course, I will be using router. Router is basically a subpath of a certain route. I will explain after I've wrote the code. For the time being, let's try the code. First, you gotta require router equals to require express. But the difference is right now is we'll be typing dot router. The line indicates that we are using a router method which is coming from express. Next, you want to remove this app as well and you want to change it to router. And lastly, what you want to do is you want to export the router, which is model.exports equals to router. Alright, so that express application could install the route on itself. So go back to server.js, and in order for the sub route that you just created to work, you need to require the file first. So under this, before that, we're gonna copy paste this. We're gonna copy and we're gonna go back to user.js and I'm gonna paste it here for the time being. Alright, go back to server.js, and in order for the sub route that you just created to work, we gotta need to add another middleware. But before that, let's require the main route. So main routes equals to require routes main. Right, and then next you want to type in another middleware, which is app.use main routes. What the line is telling us is that Express right now Express is using main routes, and basically you can even do this. You can even add another argument and you can name it Batman. What do you think will happen if I do this? All the main routes will be looking like this: Batman 1, and second one is Batman about. So Batman is the parent while the main route is the child of Batman. Alright, so we're gonna delete this back. We're gonna delete this, but we're not going to do this for the time being. Our goal in this video is to actually write a signup route. So go back to user.js and kind of like require the same thing. Router equals to require express dot router. Alright, so once you have done that, you want to change this to router, and you want to change this name to signup, because signup will have the same logic as this route actually. So we're just gonna add some validation. For the time being, we need to add some validation, like we gotta do something like this: user.find1. Alright, but for the sake of clarity, I'm gonna delete this code and we're gonna write from scratch. So router.post sign up and function request with the argument of request and response, and you want to create a new object which is user, new user, and you want to give it a name like profile.name equals to request.body.name. user.profile, probably not profile, but we just user.email equals to request.body.email. And lastly is user.password, request.body.password. Alright, lastly, alright, so now what we need to do is we have to validate this user email. Alright, you go up and you have to require the user object from the models. Alright, models user. You gotta type in dot dot, meaning it's like going back to this folder, meaning double dot, one dot is going back to this folder, and then one dot is going to models folder and take this user file. So once we have done that, you want to type in user.find1. So this is one of the mongoose method, which is find only one document in the user database. So you want to pass in the email, which query, what kind of query you want to look for. So we're going to pass in email, and then we're going to pass in the request.body. If it's the same as request.body.email, then you want to do some validation here. You're going to add another anonymous function with a parameter of error and existing user. And then we're going to check if, and copy this, if it is an existing user, then simply console log request.body.email plus is already exists, and then you want to return, and then you want to redirect this user to kind of like a sign up route. Else, what you want to do is you want to save the user to the database. So simply do user.save function with parameter of ERR and user, and if there's an error, return next with an error. Always remember, you always have to pass in a callback here if you want to use next. So go back down here. If there's no error, simply responds with a JSON format data, and the message will be new user has been created. All right. All right. So once we have wrote our sign up route, we want to export this route so that server.js could use it. So model export router, and go back to server.js. You want to require another file, which is user routes, require user. All right, and then you want to add use. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to add e over here. And then you want to type in user routes. All right. So you want to save it, and you want to go back to your Postman to see everything is working good. So you change this to sign up. But before that, let's check our terminal. We gotta run our server first, as usual. So run our server. Server is running on port 2000. Go back here, and you wanna just, for the time being, I'm just gonna change this to Batman ABC123 Batman204@gmail.com. You want to send it, and the user has been created. All right, it has been successfully created, new user. So let's say we send another post request and see what can happen. Is it you're gonna show this? You cannot get sign up. The reason why, if you go back to Atom, if you go back to user.js, and if you're gonna check over here, right? If you're gonna check here, if you're gonna check in the validation, which is here, if the user does exist, redirect the user back to a sign up page. But the problem right now is that we haven't created router.get. for this specific route. All right, we're gonna do this in the next lecture. For the time being, stay healthy and happy coding. I'll see you guys next lecture. Bye.